This video is going to go over how to solve trinomials. So generally what a trinomial looks like, it would look like something like x squared minus 5x minus 14. So equals 0. These are the problems that we're going to be trying to be able to solve, but you really can't do this until you understand a concept, and this is the concept. You're going to have to be finding combinations of numbers that multiply to be something and also add up to be something. So look at this first problem. I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 36 and add to negative 5. When people first start doing these, I advise them to basically list out all the factors of negative 36. So what I mean by this is like 1 times negative 36, negative 1 times positive 36, 2 times negative 18, negative 2 times positive 18, 3 times negative 12, negative 3 times 12, 4 times negative 9, negative 4 times 9, and then 6 times negative 6. Those are all the factors, all the combinations of numbers that could possibly multiply to be negative 36. Now what you have to do is you have to find the ones that add up to become negative 5. So like imagine if you added all these together. First one would be negative 35. The second one, if I added them, would be positive 35. The third one would be negative 16. Fourth one, positive 16. The next one would be negative 9. The next one would be positive 9. Then we get negative 5. Then we get positive 5. Then we get 0. Okay, you're looking for the one that adds up to negative 5. That would be this right here. 4 plus negative 9. So the combo of numbers that I need are 4 and negative 9. If you can't understand this concept of what I just showed you, you're not going to be successful at all at solving trinomials. So really practice this right here, understand it. It's the foundation for solving all of these problems. So let's go ahead and look at some of these. Here we go. Let's take a random example first. This right here. This is a trinomial. Basically what's going to happen here is the first thing you need to do is rainbow the first and the last number. You're multiplying 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So kind of going back to that previous example, I'm gonna have to find a combo of numbers that multiplies to be 6 and adds up to be this middle number 5. So again, when people first start doing this, I would have them list all the possible combos of numbers that multiply to be 6, like 1 times 6, negative 1 times negative 6, 2 times 3, negative 2 times negative 3. You're looking for the combination of numbers that adds up to 5. So kind of add these up in your head, like so. All right, so the combo of numbers that I was looking for is 2 and 3, because 2 times 3 makes 6 and 2 plus 3 makes 5. Now, what you have to do to factor these is take your first number, put these two things over your first number. So my first number was a 2. You then have to reduce if possible. So 2 over 2 reduces to be 1 over 1. And the way you write the actual factors of these is you write the bottom number, so parentheses 1, then the letter x, and then the top number, which is positive 1, so I put plus 1. So over here, it would look like the bottom number, 2, the letter x, and then the top number, positive 3. And this right here is the exact same thing as this trinomial. It's just in factored form. It's broken into pieces. So that is how you factor trinomials. That is what I'm going to be doing for all of these problems. So let's look at some examples. The first one, I have to factor this trinomial. So I like to rewrite these as like 1x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. I like to have that a value, that 1 right here, written down. So now I rainbow multiply 1 times the 12 is 12. So this is what they have to multiply to be, and they have to add up to be 7. I'm not going to write out all these factors anymore. I'm just going to jump straight to the combos that work. 4 times 3 makes 12 and adds up to 7. So these are my two numbers, 4 and 3. I put them over my first a value, which was 1. And then I write the bottom number, x, then top number. Bottom number, x, then top number. So this right here is the exact same thing as this right here. It's just in factored form. Now to actually solve, you just have to take these factors, x plus 4 and x plus 3, and set them equal to 0 and just solve it. So like this first one, I got x equals negative 4. Then I'm going to do the second one, x plus 3 equals 0. Subtract 3, x equals negative 3. So negative 4 and negative 3 are my actual solutions. I know it's kind of complicated, but please understand that the more you do these, the quicker you'll be able to find the combo and factor them. And some of y'all don't even have to do like this right here. You can just look at it and know. That's your ultimate goal, is to be able to look at it and just know what your factored form is. It takes a lot of practice to get there though. Let's look at this next problem. Put a 1 in front of the x squared, rainbow multiply. So 1 times, let me make that a little bit more clear. 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to be negative 5 and add up to be the middle number, 4. So this would be negative 1 times positive 5. So I take these numbers, negative 1 and positive 5. I put them over my a value, which was 1. Then I write bottom number, x, top number. Bottom number, x, top number. So this is the exact same equation. It's just in factored form now, and that's helpful because now I can just take these factors, set them equal to 0, and solve. Okay, those were two examples of when they were already equal to 0 at the start. If they give you something like this, where it does not equal 0, you have to make it equal 0, step 1. So I'm on number 3 now. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to minus 28 from both sides. Be careful with your like terms. This minus 28 is not a like term with this minus 12x. So they stay separate. Okay, now that it equals 0, I can do that whole process where I put the 1 down, I rainbow and multiply. So they have to multiply to be negative 28, and they have to add up to be negative 12. Okay, so this combo is going to be positive 2 and negative 14. So take these numbers, 2 negative 14. Put them over the a value, which is 1. Write bottom x, top, same thing. Now that it's in factored form, I can just set each factor equal to 0 and solve each one. So these would be my answers, negative 2 and 14. Number 4 here, you have to add 40 first. That's your first step. And then rewrite it. So now it's, I don't know why that's x squared minus 14x plus 40 equals 0. Now you're ready to find the combo of numbers. So put the 1 down, multiply. 1 times 40 is 40. This is what they have to multiply to be. And they have to add up to be negative 14. The combo of numbers that's going to accomplish this is negative 4 and negative 10. Put them over your a value, which is 1, right here. And then write bottom x, top. Now that it's factored form, I can set each factor equal to 0 and solve. And I'm telling you, once you get the hang of being able to put it in factored form, these things will be so much easier. It just takes practice. Let's look at this page. This first one already equals 0, so all I have to do is rainbow and multiply. 2 times 12 is 24. And they have to add up to be the middle number, so 11. The combo of numbers that's going to accomplish this is 3 and 8. Put them over your a value, which was 2. Now you have to reduce this 8 over 2. You have to reduce it to be 4 over 1, or else you'll get the wrong answer. Then you write bottom x, top, same thing. This equals 0. This is my factored form. Set each factor equal to 0 and solve it. And you get your answers. Number 6, start out the same way. Multiply the 3 times the 5. That makes 15. And then they have to add up to be the middle number, negative 16. The combo of numbers that's going to do this is negative 1 and negative 15. Put them over your first a value, which was 3. You have to reduce. Sorry, it's over 1. Now take each, you're ready to write it in factored form, so write the bottom number, x, top number, same thing. Set each factor equal to 0 and solve. And you would get your answers. Also, please be advised, I went back and edited this video because I messed up right here in the previous version. I put x minus 15. Just make sure you're using the number after you reduce it. So once we move on to the next problem, my answer will go back to the original video of x equals 15. That is wrong. So Please be advised of that. X equals 5 is the correct answer. All right, this next one's a little different because it doesn't already equal 0, so you're going to have to subtract 6 first and rewrite this. Now you're ready to rainbow the 4 and the negative 6 and multiply. So that multiplies to be negative 24, and it has to add up to be 5. The combo of numbers that's going to do this is negative 3 and 8. Put them over your a value, which is 4. You have to reduce. Now you're ready to write it in factored form. This one would be 4x minus 3, 1x plus 2 equals 0. Set each factor equal to 0 and solve. Okay. Moving right along, number 8. It's equal to 0 already, so you can just rainbow multiply. So this thing has to multiply to be 48. It has to add up to be negative 19. The combo of numbers that's going to do this is negative 16 and negative 3. Put them over your a value of 2. You have to reduce. Write it in factored form. Oops. Now that it's written in factored form, I can set each factor equal to 0. And solve. And get my answers. The next one is very similar. It's already equal to 0, so just multiply. I have to find a combo of numbers that multiplies to be negative 240 and adds up to be negative 1. This is like it's saying negative 1x. So the combo of numbers that's going to do this is 15. Okay, 15. Cooperate, please. 15 and negative 16. Put them over your first a value, which is 6. Now, both of these have to be reduced. This one and this one both reduce. So this first one, they're both divisible by 3. So you get 5 over 2 when you reduce it. The second one, they're both divisible by 2. So you get negative 8 over 3 when you reduce it. Now you're ready to write it in factored form. Set each factor equal to 0 and solve. It's okay to get weird fractions for your answers on these. Okay, and this last problem, same thing. It's equal to 0 already, so I can just rainbow multiply. I have to find a combo of numbers that multiplies to be negative 36 and adds up to be negative 16. The two numbers that are going to do this are 2 and negative 18. Put them over your first a value, which was 3. you have to reduce. Now you're ready to write it in factored form. Now that it's in factored form, I can set each factor equal to 0. And solve. And be done. So again, if you cannot understand this concept right here, finding two numbers that multiply to be something and add to be something, you're not going to be able to do this. Understand that concept and then follow the process. Basically, you'll find your two numbers, you'll write them down, you'll put them over the a value of 1. You'll reduce if you have to, like over here, we had to reduce. Then you write the bottom number, 1, the letter x, then the top number, -1. And that's how you write it in factored form. Once you have it in factored form, you can set each factor equal to 0 and solve to get your answers. So I hope this didn't confuse you too much. I hope this video helped. Good luck.